people 6 feet apart, or?
No. It's a drive-through restaurant.
Oh, okay.
It's called Peter's Drive-In. So this one does have a dining room, but the one in Calgary is literally like there's no sitting space. Like you drive up and stuff.
Hi,
okay.
everyone.
Oh, wait.
Oh, have we been live?
Well, at least the part for the part of the queue of the story.
Okay.
Because the intro is has like a definitive end.
Mm-hmm.
So don't say I didn't warn you.
We're starting strong with a really good drive-in recommendation.
Yeah. So there's 3 locations, all in Alberta. So if you come to Alberta, go to Peter's.
In Alberta.
Go to Peter's Drive-In and get the orange milkshake, which is the best. Their burgers suck. They're not good. But that's like part of the appeal.
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
It's the charm.
But their milkshakes are like the best milkshakes on earth. I got a cherry vanilla milkshake. It was probably the best milkshake I ever had. I drank it all in like 10 minutes. It's this huge milkshake thing, like that big.
How can you
I just chugged. I was just like, this is so good, and I drank it all, and then I went to sleep and took a 3-hour nap immediately after. So, welcome to Songs for the Dusk.
What is an orange like? What's that taste like?
Yeah, it tastes like orange.
Kind of like a creamsicle.
Oh, okay.
Like the fruit, yeah, but better. It's the best.
Okay.
It's the best. It's very good.
Wait, is it orange like smoothie orange, or is it orange and vanilla like orange creamsicle?
It's like pale orange in color.
Well, I meant in flavor.
Oh, in flavor. No,
I'm imagining it's like a milkshake that has like pulpy orange.
Oh no, it doesn't have pulpy orange in it. It's just like
an orange cream soda?
It tastes like orange juice, but not sour. Like it doesn't taste like orange soda, because orange soda is gross. No offense if you like orange soda. It's just very good. It's the best.
Sweet, very good.
I tried.
But here's the thing: is I have brain problems where I can't order the same thing as other people, and the orange milkshake is my brother's favorite, and he always gets it, and so I have to order something else.
No.
It's okay.
Okay, well, if the orange is the top recommendation, if your brother gets orange, what is this?
Oh, I got cherry vanilla, which is very good.
Oh.
What if you order first?
I never order first. He drives me places.
So
going to Peter's, he's driving.
Okay.
When the person's like, "Can I get you anything?" You just lean over from the passenger seat and you shout like, "Orange milkshake."
Orange milkshake for me, not for him. But then he'll order an orange milkshake too, and I'll be upset.
Oh no.
He doesn't have the same rule. It's just me. I'm the one with the problem, not him.
Well, hi everyone. This is our Songs for the Dusk campaign. None of us are going back. So Songs for the Dusk is a game by Kavita Paduri and Kun Bleiler, or Bleeler, I'm not sure how they pronounce it. But it's a very good game. It's a Fortune Dark game. And I'm super excited because tonight we're going to get into downtime, and downtime is the funnest part for the GM because I actually don't have to even more than during missions. It's much less for me to do, and the players get to frame scenes and do stuff, and it's very nice. But first, I would say we'll go around and introduce ourselves with name and pronouns and who we're playing, and with their pronouns, and you're all playing each other's pets, right? So let's hear about whatever pet you're playing, what they're being up to, hanging out about in our town. which I had the name a moment ago, and I forgot again. And it's
Cnidaria.
yes, thank you, Cnidaria. It's 6 a.m. here, so you'll have to forgive me.
You are forgiven.
Thank you. Well, let's start with the purry one.
Hi, I am Taylor. I use he, him pronouns. This is Dread Pirate. I use she, her pronouns for her. I genuinely didn't expect her to stay up here for as long as she has. She's not usually super into being held, but she is just going to be my companion. I am playing Hyacinth the Swamp Witch, using the Witch playbook, and they use they, them pronouns. And I am playing Dingo's Plant Piggy.
Although we haven't encountered them yet.
Yeah, we haven't encountered the Plant Piggy yet, so I don't know about them, but I am excited to play a little plant pig.
Me too. Well, Dingo, you go on. Next cat. Let's go with the next cat.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I'm Robin. I am playing Noon, who uses he, him pronouns. I use she, her pronouns. My cat, my real cat, her name is Juniper, and we use she, her pronouns for her. And I am playing oh geez. I'm playing Taylor's interdimensional transitory cat named Anya, who is she, her, I believe, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Our cats are both collectively done, while Beetle can now show up.
He sensed that there was a lacking. There was an imbalance.
Yeah, hi Dingo.
Hi, I'm Dingo, she, her. This is Beetle. I use he, him for him. And I'm playing Paloma, or Pal, who uses he, him. And I will also be playing Noon's pet, who is a dinosaur named Baby. Although I don't know what their pronouns are.
Yeah, I don't think anyone does. They're just a little creature.
They're just a little creature.
All and any pronouns are acceptable for that.
I think downtime today will be like just getting to know everyone's pets.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Hi, and I'm Matthias. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm the MC of this game, so I'll be like playing everybody else. And we've got a load of contacts to get to know. I think when we come in, it's for a shot of our flying, or rather like our village that can be airborne, but it's actually sitting at a what looks like the edge of a crater. We just get a short glimpse of like this old so it's not nothing smoking or anything. It's like an old crater, but still like nothing is growing inside of it, and it's like framed at the edges by this great big meadow. So it's like really tall and lush green grass, and at the edge of it, like our village ship, our township has landed. and we get like this crane shot where we go into and transitions into like flying a little bit through its streets, and in front of the great big steering wheel that everybody else just like until very recently thought was just this monument of times gone by, but it's actually like this huge stone structure at one side of the town that can actually move into the ground, and turns out it's the steering wheel for this ship. There's like this people have put up like this pavilion, and they've like gathered around, and there's seems to be quite a bit of commotion up there, and we see like this it's not really a stage, but it's like a little bit of a raised area where we at least recognize 3 people who are like standing a little sheepishly off to the side on this little stage, as well as a person that is like of middle-aged person with darker skin and a little bit of a weathered face, and they move about a bit like slowly, but not but they do still have like this spring in their step, so you get the feeling that well deliberate, they can be very quick on their feet as well. And I think we come in on them saying something akin to so, well, we were still deliberating what to do. You decided to take action.
Well, I think it wasn't so much that Hyacinth?
Yes, hi, yes. We deliberated and took action. Yeah. It was just listen to the flow and the tune of everything, and we worked together to do what we could to help everybody here.
I grabbed some tubes and we moved them around.
Yeah, moved a lot of tubes.
And I'm genuinely sorry about the apple cart.
Yes,
And there's like a voice from the crowd that's like, well, you should be. I don't think I can ever eat apple pie again because my whole house stinks. Now, I can't get rid of the smell.
I'll come over with a bucket of water later, clean that up. I'm real sorry.
Have you considered like letting it ferment and then making like vinegar or even like wine with it?
Well, then you'd have to drink it off of the floor or off the walls.
No, but you okay. Hi. This is a conversation for later.
And there's another voice. Right. This is a conversation for later. And this woman, rather broad-shouldered, and I mean, she's also wearing like pauldrons, and you can clearly like make out that I mean, she has like the insignia of being part of a scout party of the Red Empire, and she's like one sec, I need 2 names. I do have those names, but I need to look them up. she's like, well, Abertabrook, I don't think that's the core of the issue here. A couple of apples, you've raised an entire village up into the air. It's unheard of.
Perhaps you should listen a bit more.
And
What well, I think that maybe, you know, I mean, nobody knew that it was built on top of a ship, right? Or did you guys already know that you sort of built it on top of something that could move?
that's what I meant with no. I don't think anybody knew. And Abertabrook is like, no, no one knew about this. You decided you could just unheath everyone's homes. Did you think for 1 second about that? But before any of you like can react to this, like, this question, there's another person who like causes some kind of commotion in the crowd as they're like trying to get their way through them, and this time it's a I'm just gonna like with a couple of steps and a quick leap up, he's going, Abertabrook, I've got something to show you. Here's my question though. This person, like, I would, who would be up for this? As they're like, as he's bringing up some kind of device which is going to show like a video recording of something. Everybody's going to look at the video recording, except one of you. One of you feels like really something striking about this person. Who wants to be that one?
I think it could be fun. I think Hyacinth probably is also a little bit scared about what's on the video because they don't want to be in trouble. So they're probably like, oh no, don't want to look at the video. But yeah, striking person. If that's all right, I can go ahead and be that person.
Yeah. What's striking about this person to Hyacinth?
So you said they kind of bounded up from the crowd to present
very naturally
you said,
demanding
you
attention.
Yeah, you said device. I am thinking of just like their smartphone.
It's probably more like a tablet.
fantasy.
Like it's a little bit bigger, so more people can like see.
It's like how the Sheikah Slate is just a Switch. It's a fantasy tablet.
Okay.
Oh, Breath of the Wild. It's a timely reference. It's a game that I have been playing recently. So everybody knows its references.
I mean, it's a reference of songs for the Dusk, so it's perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think like they're maybe like preternatural grace or that kind of like grace and charisma of just suddenly appearing, suddenly drawing attention, suddenly, before we can even respond and we're right there, this person has involved themselves, commanded everybody's attention, and responded. So I think that's pretty striking. And also copped out of a physical description. I'm sorry, Matthias.
That's fine. We can come up with that afterwards or whenever we feel like it. I think, and also the camera is more like focused on you. And then I think you notice like the only other person who's like not looking at the screen, at least at first. And that's the other one that spoke earlier, the one with the Red Empire pauldrons. By the way, she looks like Gina Carano, because I've been watching too much Mandalorian. But that gives you an impression of her. And maybe your eyes meet like for like half a second, but then whatever is showing on the video feed or recording is catching her attention as well. And we see the place where Cnidaria was unearthed. I don't know. Like, I feel like I have to come up with like different kinds of terms or verbs for what this village is doing. But yeah, so we see like this this shape that's been taken out of the earth. That's like faintly has like a ship shape. Or it's like as if a ship has imprinted itself into sand, but this isn't sand. This is like really taken out of the earth, and we see that, and then we see like coming over the horizon, not just like one or two, but about like 24 huge beasts. And not any kinds of beasts. Like this video is like grainy. What we see is like people who are sitting or standing on like platforms that are mounted on the backs of those beasts. And sometimes those platforms themselves like mount like big cannons and stuff, and they have like flags and insignia flying in the wind, and this definitely like immediately raised a commotion. Like it's and the person who just arrived explains, yes, it's, what have they called it again? It's the Cardinal Frontier Division. If you all hadn't lifted off, they've arrived just this morning. And just like the commotion goes up, and you're kind of off the hook for the moment, at least, or maybe even better, right? We just see our Red Imperial Scout like slinking off into the background to be like, maybe not draw further attention to myself right now. Yeah,
I'll bring you to trial later.
Yeah, and I think that's how we're going to start into our downtime. So, could talk a little bit about downtime. There is an overview in the Roll20 as well.
I see it.
Is that Robin shaking your head at the thought of reading rules?
Yeah.
No, thank you.
I don't mean to be disrespectful. I'm just
disrespectful.
I don't want to find it.
It's also in the Discord.
I'll find it. I'm a good student.
I kind of have an idea of something I want to do, but I'm not sure what it falls under.
So yeah, and that's also like a viable way to go about this. Sometimes it's like we talk about what we want to do, and then we find like the appropriate thing to do it with. So in general, you all get 2 downtimes, and you can do different stuff with those things. And some of them are deliberately cast into specific things that make sense for this game, but there's almost always something you can find to do, or that makes sense for something else. For example, your typical fallback option is doing a long-term project, because you basically can't do anything with those. It's just going to take a little bit of time. And if there's the thing you definitely need and want to do that there's no option for, and that is like under like time is pressing for that, then we just go back into free play and we do action rolls. The special thing about downtime rolls, or like rolls for downtime actions, is there's usually no real cost except the downtime action associated with it. So it gives you a lot of leeway to do frame stuff about your character and about the world as well, because like there's like you get to say what it is and how it works, basically.
Okay.
At some point I will need to like roll in entanglement, which we rolled last time, but we'll find that point, I guess.
Okay.
So what's your idea?
Does anybody else have an idea, or
of
You can go first.
of what our character is doing, like specifically, or
Yeah, during downtime.
just like a downtime
What
scene?
kind?
well, I know what I'm doing for both of my downtimes.
Okay.
Which is the first one is I want to get help for being hurt by run over the cat. No, let me try that again. I need someone to help me get better after I was run over by the apple cart. And then the second thing is that he wants to find someone who will help him learn how to read.
Okay. Do you want to start with that, or what are the other people's ideas? Maybe we can interlock them, or
The two ideas that I had. So Hyacinth accumulated a lot of stress over those last two sessions. So I would like to unwind. And I mean, there's a big crowd here of people kind of scared, kind of relieved, kind of happy, kind of chaotic. So I'm going to guess there's a revelry that is going to happen somewhere, like some group of people, house party, drinks are on us, big feast style. Something's going to happen. And Hyacinth, I think, is just going to cut loose there. And then the other one, I was thinking, and this could be something where we describe the action, figure out what mechanics fit to it, or if we want to kind of make the current mechanics make sense. But I was looking at outreach as a option, and outreach mechanically specifically is about reducing heat. So if there is like bad press going on, or if there's like a group that doesn't like us specifically, we lower that negative. But since we don't have that and reputation is still a mechanic, I thought it'd be cool to kind of build up the positive instead of just lowering the negative. So Hyacinth goes, unwinds, does a little bit of outreach, does a little bit like, yeah, this is who we are, this is what we're doing, kind of build up a bit of that reputation.
Yeah. So I think you can think a little bit about that. Two options. You do have a little bit of heat, but it's not that easy to. So you gained 4 points of heat in the Meridian Valley last time.
Oh, I forgot about that. Is the Meridian Valley? Are those the Red Empire?
No, that's the larger area we're in. Wait a second.
Oh, that's just like the region in general doesn't care for us.
Well, no,
okay.
It's. I mean, right now they still don't care for you. Once you get more infamy, they start to care. Or more rep, right? One or the other, or both.
Then that makes sense. I was thinking we didn't have heat because I forgot about that.
But I like your idea, right? So what you could be doing, or what maybe you meant with what you were saying, is this could be a long-term project to increase your status with a specific faction.
Yeah.
Right? Like, let your infamy rise on one hand and, like, get more friends on the other at the same time.
Yeah. So those are my goals. Dingo, what were you thinking about doing?
Sorry, I'm a little distracted because Beetle is getting into something and I don't know what it is, but it's probably fine. So I was sort of thinking I would also like Powell to be able to unwind in his downtime, and I put down in his sheet, if I can find it, that his relief is the warmth of good food and company of friends and family. And so I thought, oh, well, maybe he'll cook something for like the three of them to unwind. But then I thought, well, in our little base, there isn't really anywhere to do that. So I thought and maybe like a long-term project or construct foundation. I'm not sure what that entails. But maybe something along the lines of that, where he starts just building like a very basic kitchen with like a cook fire and like a little tiny cabinet for the pantry and things like that.
Yeah. So, yeah, maybe that's worth getting into, like a little bit at least, so you can think a little bit about it. When you open the crew sheet, you currently have 4 supply. And with the downtime action of, what's it called? Construct foundation, you get to invest that supply into a foundation's cost. To translate that into, do you see the grid of these different things that you could have?
Yeah.
And you gain access to those.
Okay. Does it looks like it's sort of a almost like a flow chart. So do I have to go in like an order?
In a yes. So it's they lead from one to the other. I think there's a rule about if you want to pick something that's it probably just gets more expensive or something. And it's obvious, and what you don't see in the Roll20 is, so it might be necessary to open the PDF with the crew sheet for it, and it'll make more sense there, I think.
Okay. I should just learn to have the PDF open before we start.
I mean, it's a couple of PDFs because the crew sheet one is an extra one, right?
Oh, is that a separate one? Do I not have that? Okay, wait.
We should.
I've
They
got
are
rules.
on the player resources. If you've got Discord open too.
Is it in the rules reference, or is it a different PDF?
It's a different one. There's one for playbooks and there's one for crew sheets, and it's the crew sheets one.
Crew sheets. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, there. You see that each of those foundations, they have like 2 or 3 or even 4 little like
little
diamonds.
dots.
Yeah, and that's what they're going to I think cost, if I got that right. But we can check that in a moment. If there's something. So what you're describing is exactly what I would want to hear if you just went, okay, I'm going to build a production. It's super generic, the production one, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're like actually wanting to build a little place where you can like make food and cook stuff, and that can flow, which would also flow into your unwind action. That's like the perfect thing to frame it, like to find the fictional framing for. And then we can see, once we get around to that, what that looks like. Which also reminds me, one thing we didn't do last time is, if you're looking at the crew sheet, you still have to updates that you get, that you can pick. Which will lead me to like a very central question, for example, is where do you all sleep? Is this like, do you have quarters in your, like, right? There's this, in someone's backyard, there's this little hovel, and when you enter it, you can go down into the underground, and that's where your base is, right?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like the idea that, I mean, this is day one. Like, we just came out of the tunnels and it's not our base yet. So, like, at the end of today, we will go back into those tunnels because we need somewhere to sleep. And, like, maybe the medic, because I was also noticing on our crew sheet, technically part of our crew is an expert medic. And since Noon is going off to get help, maybe that person can become our medic as part of the crew. So that'd be a cool way to introduce that character, if that's all right with everybody.
Maybe it's their backyard that the hovel is in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. And then like they send you down with like blankets and stuff. And then, you know, Hyacinth is out with people and brings some random things home, and Powell goes out and gathers food and brings those things, and we all just kind of bring a bunch of junk and dump it into the tunnels underneath this one specific hatch, and that becomes the foundation of what will become our headquarters. But for now, it's literally just blankets and piles of food in an empty tunnel.
Getting some hay from the sheep farmer to put on the ground.
Yeah, I was going to say, as a grad student, is this like the worst accommodation that Hyacinth has had before? Or is it
probably
like,
not.
It's middling.
It is probably like definitely worse than staying in wherever they were, like on or near campus. But they did a lot of like field research study, so like a lot of like sleeping in a ship is probably not unfamiliar to them, or just like camping on a floating tent in a swamp or something.
Nice. So yeah, that sounds like you do want to mark quarters, and we can talk a little bit about how you got those, or like you already did. But so at least you don't like. There's a place for you to sleep at the end of the session, at least. We should have established that. I like that a lot. And we can still keep the other one open. There's also special auger ones, which could be interesting, and you can like in Roll20 there's the little arrows, and it has description in those.
I don't know what lake in the sky means, but I want it.
That's going to take 2 upgrades, so
If you hit the little arrow, it will expand.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds pretty cool. How many upgrades do we get?
2, and
We
one
start
you
with
spend
2.
on quarters. You get the chance to take 2 new upgrades each time you level up. But then you don't get a special ability. Like, it's 1 special ability or 2 crew upgrades per crew level up. let me quickly. This is a good point to introduce harmony as well. Because we haven't
yes,
spoken about
that would
harmony.
be good.
Yeah. If you look on, I added a clock up here. I think you should be able to see it. Right. Let's see.
I love the way these fill in. It's so good.
Yeah.
Harmony is the system's version of Gambit, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is not really like a clock. This is more like a counter. And it's got like 2 filled in at the moment. And harmony is you can spend it for bonus dice, basically. And it's a crew resource. So if you need a bonus die for something, and you can say like, oh, I'm going to spend harmony on that, and we reduce it. During a mission, you get new harmony by rolling 6s on risky rolls. So it like you get it when you do cool, when you're successful at risky stuff, and it resets at the end of downtime to 2 every time. And like Hyacinth, you can spend it for like special other kinds of effects, right? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of magic stuff that I can do with it.
Yeah. And it's a little bit about like the cohesion of the entire group, right? You're like, all 3 of you are more than the sum of you. That's the idea there. Cool. We can spend the other upgrade for when we need it.
I don't know, team. I'm thinking drop jet. Y'all want a jet? We could just have a jet. We could get a drop jet. If you want a jet,
Can we get weed? Is that an option? I don't have it open right now. The good Kush.
The good Kush. Now there is an empty box that we can type whatever we want into. Oh, it's under the quality section too.
Oh,
so there's quality
like
packs, weapons, tools, kits. So we could say quality Kush, and then first upgrade makes it the good Kush. Tia, so we playing the game right?
Actually, yes, very much so.
Yes.
So you already got upgraded kits that just always come with those. And that covers all med kits, infiltration kits, and jump kits.
But it doesn't cover our...
It doesn't cover Kush. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's why I
We have
added
to get
Kush as a
separate.
separate upgrade. Yeah.
Yeah. When you said empty box, I thought you meant there was like a literal empty box in the base that we could put our Kush in. Like I thought that was listed.
In all seriousness,
base
wouldn't it be
comes with-
fun to have like our own garden?
That would be really fun and cute and good.
Actually, yeah, because I think that would make sense for Hyacinth's charm work, Pal's growing, and does Noon like to play in the dirt? Pick flowers.
Yeah. Noon's his release, his chill out time, I can't remember the word for it right now, is to like escape into nature.
Oh,
So,
okay. Yeah.
I believe if we have a garden and we've separated it into like thirds, then his is just like weeds and weird stuff that he's found and planted.
Yeah.
Like they serve no purpose except just to grow.
Yeah, and be a part of nature. I like that. So would you like me to go ahead and I don't know if it makes sense to be under quality. Is that
I think it does, unless you...
Is it Is it warehouse?
I mean, everybody can have kush, right? But you've got quality kush.
Good stuff.
Should I change Kush to garden to represent the thing we actually
I don't
want?
know what you mean. I mean, you can just have a garden. Like, that's...
It can be
Okay, is
different
that-
from the kush.
Is that not a box we need to click to be allowed to have a garden?
No.
Oh, okay, cool.
But
mean,
what if you
team,
want
we
to have
have
a
a
nice
garden.
special garden?
If you want to have a special garden... I was just, like, trying to check if this might be a workshop then. No, if you want to have a special garden, that might just be a foundation. So that might be interesting to look at as well. That you could be working towards. But you can start out like just doing this fictionally and use it later as a justification for, well, we've already been talking about like our gardening stuff for like 3 sessions. This is how it's going to like heavily impact game mechanics now. Boom. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can always use these things in flashbacks and stuff as well.
I also there's a in Skyrim, in the assassins quest line, at a certain point you get a base, and the base is inside like a glacier slash like cave, and there's a part of it that has like an open hole to the outside, and then there's a garden underneath where you have like alchemical supplies. So I would like that to be our garden, if that's okay. It's like there's just like a weird gap where it opens up to the outside.
Okay.
If that's
maybe
okay with
this
everyone.
opened up in their backyard as soon as like the engines were started.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it kind of serves like as a ventilation thing for like the engines in a weird sense, but it was always closed while the thing was shut down, and now like you have these, and I can see that. But are we still talking about like getting what to spend the other upgrade on, or are we like talking about different things now?
Are we?
Or should we just get
I
into
think-
downtime actions?
Yeah, we can get into downtime actions because it sounds like there are things that we want that may not necessarily need to be upgrades, but if we pick our upgrade by the end of the session or next or whatever, then it can fit a little bit more what we actually want to mechanically benefit from in our space.
Yeah. And here's the last secret before you get into downtime actions and frame them. It's if you bring a friend, you usually get a bonus die. So if you frame it in a way that like includes a contact who's willing to help you, or maybe someone else from the crew.
So do you mean like an NPC or like another player character?
It's just any kind of friend.
Okay.
So whatever makes sense gives you bonus dice. All right. So who makes most sense to start with here? Maybe if Hyacinth already wants to at the aftermath of this like town meeting, speaking with other folks around. Were you meaning to unwind there, or reducing heat, or doing
Yeah,
the
I was
third thing?
thinking that two things. I wanted to start just kind of feeling out the flow of the crowd and start with my unwind action, assuming that like the energy of the crowd is to hang/chill.
Okay.
And then I kind of imagine that hanging/chilling with the town folk would, make these cool folk hero characters more relatable. Maybe I'll put a hat on backwards or like skateboard again. I could skateboard again if that.
So unwind.
People think we're cool.
Yeah, unwind directly talks about. Let's have a look at Hyacinth here.
I don't know if I picked
You haven't picked one yet. So, two things what unwind does, or before you can do unwind, is you pick a kind of relief. Like, what's the thing you do to release stress? And you need to come up with an NPC who's like basically the one who helps you get that. Like, okay, so for example, if you picked like skating, right? If skating was your unwind or your relief thing that you did for relief, then maybe it needs like, I don't know, the local skate parks, like whoever has like responsibility for that, who lets you get on the half pipe there, right? That would be then your purveyor. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I remember looking at these things before, and I think I had ideas, and then I just didn't end up marking them down. So I just marked them down. Out of the options that I can select from underneath relief, there was an option that's called weird, and I couldn't not pick that one. So Hyacinth unwinds by getting a little weird. Who knows what that looks like?
Well, that's
I'll tell you who knows what that looks
exactly
like.
That's what we find out during your unwind.
Yeah. So the person that I think I wanted to pick as like, because I picked one of my wondrous friends as like my best friend, right? Or the contact that I'm closest with.
Nice, thank you, Robin. Yes, but this is a new person.
Oh, so this is not one of my wondrous friends.
Not necessarily. No, you actually would get to make up an NPC here.
That's a lot of NPCs,
and it's like not necessarily someone you need to be friends with. This could be like just the
This
person.
could be your drug dealer.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, I might say, okay. Oh, I did post this somewhere. This was in Discord where I posted this. So Roslyn is the rival. I was thinking that it would be Taffa, the eager spirit, who is the close contact, and I think.
If you want to, we can double down on one NPC being two things.
I'd kind of like to double down if that's all right.
Sure.
My brain can only handle so many characters, and there's still a lot of characters that have names that we haven't met yet. Like we each have 5, and then our crew has 5 more.
Oh, I just assume that unless we have like talked about them or like there's like a way to like mark them in a way, I just assume they don't exist until we do that.
Yeah, and like that's kind of how I've been operating until they become relevant. The way that the book describes them is like all 5. One of them you're close with, and one of them is your rival.
In a way, they are a resource, right? They're a resource where you can. This is on my sheet. I have access to this person. Like unless there's a very specific fictional situation where I can, like I'm tied up in someone's basement, I can just be like, no, I want to meet them. I want to talk to them and you dear MC, you can't say no. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, so if it's okay, I'd like to double up. So in that context, I think Hyacinth is trying to, like, they have recently gone through a lot of weird stuff in term, like, outside of their control. A town taking off in the form of a ship and then having to land that, and then apparently uprooting everybody. But then that was a good thing because an army, that's a lot of bad weird, a lot of uncontrolled weird. So I think interacting with people, they're looking for, like, the weird local delicacy where people are like, we put ketchup on apples here. And Hyacinth's like, that's gross and weird, but I want to try it, right? So you can have those little experiences. Like, this is a dance that we specifically do, that's only towards, like, the percussion of somebody slapping their legs and somebody else blowing on a jug or something like that, right? So those weird little rituals that's going to ingratiate them into the society and feel less like a tourist and more like okay, this is the place that we just
is this like a
endangered / saved.
Yeah, is this like a thing in general? We could say that Hyacinth's relief is getting into strange local customs.
Yeah, looking for the weird that they can control.
Yeah.
So, like, finding out, like, because sometimes they would go on, like, student mission study trips, and even if they're the only person around, they're going to read the book to find out what weird plant you can chew on in a certain way that it makes your tongue go numb, or, like,
And what is it here in Cnidaria? What's
are you
the
asking me?
weird Cnidarian? Yes, I don't know. Why would I know? I'm not the one getting into weird reliefs.
Can I suggest something?
Yes, please. I was gonna pass the buck on to somebody else.
I was gonna say they make their own noodles to eat. Like, every person makes their own noodles, but they flavor it with grass that they've grown in their backyard. And so everyone's like, oh, you have to eat my noodles because I grow this certain kind of grass, and it adds just, like, this perfect kind of, like, tang and acidity to it. But it tastes really weird because it's like
grass.
And they're green.
Yeah.
I like to think that the crabgrass tastes like crab a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
And then you get some people who are like, I don't use grass. I use moss.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, like, really avant-garde.
Yeah, someone is like, I don't really have a grass yard. Moss yards are a lot more environmentally friendly. Actually, it reduces the rain flow.
Yeah, they're like, I have, like, anyways, so.
Okay, yes, I like that. So
it'll be like a chili cook-off, but it'll be grass noodles. Where everyone's made their own noodle dish with their own, handmade.
This is
noodles.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, so since Hyacinth's unwind thing is also going in a food direction, would Pan want to come with on that? Like, if they're kind of going to a food festival? I know you talked about cooking for just the three of them, but is that?
Oh yeah, I mean, I gotta find something to cook, so
buy some pasta.
And buy some pasta. Probably get like a pan and a pot. Gotta get supplies too. So yeah, Pao would totally come along.
So I need to come clean with the thing, right? You remember how I said you can, when you do downtime actions, you don't have any risk?
You lied.
I kind of lied. So there's you don't have any risks unless you do unwind. There's a chance with unwind that you might clear more stress than you have. And when you do that,
unwind a little bit too much.
Yeah, you unspool.
But that's when you get too high.
Yeah. I like that though. You can. So there's this unwind button on your sheet. Have you found that? That's like just to the
I
right
did see it.
of your
Can I
relief
click it?
purveyor.
Do I get to click it?
Yes, you get to click it. And it's
Bonus dice.
Yeah, well, 1 because Paleth's with you.
I rolled it. What'd I get? It's the highest one, isn't it?
It's the highest one. So lucky me that I mentioned this beforehand, because now I would feel
Yeah,
really
no, I did
guilty.
read about it too. Yeah, so I only had 4 stress. And now seeing that this is like the dice roll, Hyacinth is gonna get stressed out a lot more because this is the currency I can mess around with. Yeah, so
Well-
Hyacinth unspools.
Exactly. So you, well, actually, you definitely get to clear all stress, though.
Okay.
So you can just click the little X, and that clears the whole thing. Let me check unspool. Actually, I didn't expect this to come up tonight, but guess that's why we're playing.
We're full of surprises.
Downtime. All right. So, a little bit of this. This is where we notice how the game is still in development. If your relief rolls clears more stress than you had marked, you stagnate or unspool. Whichever is. I think unspool might actually be the more current one. But you get to. So when that happens, you make a bad call when you unwind, either in seeking out the time and space to do so or while relaxing. And you get to select from a list. This is on page 127 on the in the rulebook. You either get to attract trouble, something goes wrong as you seek out your relief, select or roll an additional entanglement. Lost, your character vanishes for a few weeks. Play a different character until this one returns from their low state. So if you're like, let's play a different character. Negligent, your character isn't keeping up with their workload. Untick all project clocks by 1, which is kind of not currently not applicable because we don't have those yet. Or tapped, your relief no longer brings you peace. You must spend an additional downtime action to find a new source of relief. Which, kind of a little pointless probably, because we haven't even learned about your specific relief yet. So,
Okay,
first
so
of
I
all,
caught up on the
what
page.
happens to you? What do you think, yeah, and you caught up on the page, and at the bottom it says stagnation, and there's
It's stagnation, but stagnation is
unspool.
unspoiled.
Yeah.
Unspooled. Okay. Okay. So, Dingo,
Also,
you're
yeah. I
also
want to mention it.
unwinding,
It was
right?
Pal's dice that was the 6. It's always the
Yeah,
last one, right? That's the bonus die.
Do you want to see how you do? Because if you also unspool, then we can just go off the rails together.
I don't know that I rolled for this, do I?
Are
Unless we
you
wanna-
also doing an unwind action, or are you doing something else?
I was also going to do an unwind. I guess, yeah, this could be both of our unwinds, since they're both sort of cooking related.
In before, I'm the only responsible one is Noon.
And in a strange change of dynamics, Noon is like, I'm gonna sit this one out, guys.
Yeah,
I need to
think it'd be
prepare
fun
myself.
to see if Pal also unspools. Hang on, let me see. Although I don't know that it's possible for Pal to unspool because he has 6 stress.
Oh, then no, it's not.
I do kind of want to roll it anyway, if that's okay.
Oh no, you do
Yeah,
have to roll
absolutely,
because you might not relieve enough stress.
Gotcha. Okay. And I'm taking a bonus die from Hyacinth.
Yeah. Give me a little bit like what this looks like.
Yeah, for Pal.
Yep.
I think Pal's all loaded up. I think he's got like a wicker, like a wicker purse, like a wicker shoulder bag that he's sort of carrying along with him. And as he's kind of going along with Hyacinth and going to this, you said they were going to a food festival?
Yeah, probably like an informal gathering of people who kind of like
a farmer's market.
Yeah.
A chili cook-off.
Chili cook-off. Yeah, well, like, yeah, I was thinking like a farmer's market turned like cook-off, like equal parts purchasing and festivity.
Yeah.
Like a farmer's market meets a block party.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, I think Pal stops at every single like either stall or house or yard or however this is set up. I guess I could just say how it's set up. I think it is very much kind of like a block party where everything is just sort of there's like a table in someone's yard and they've got their thing set up. Some people make, big signs. Some people just have a very simple kind of setup. And yeah, Pal has to stop at each one and sample everything that they're either offering or making, or if they have a little sample of like their specific noodles. Pal really takes his time and like it's almost agonizing to watch him very slowly chew over these noodles and comment on like the the grass undertones that he tastes. And
how much is Pal into this weird stuff?
I think Pal gets really into it. I don't think it's quite as weird for him because not necessarily that they like do the same thing where he comes from, but I think it's just like it doesn't occur to him that wouldn't be, if that makes sense. Yeah. He's just very immediately just like, oh yeah, okay. This was something that I didn't know you could do, but now I know that you can do it. If that makes sense.
And what I'm also getting is like these folks here living in Cnidaria, they're like very warm and open people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
So I imagine Pal and Hyacinth were like enjoying the area. They're going around tasting food, like talking to people, trying things. Hyacinth was getting into the like, oh, this is weird, this is neat, like, oh, what's this over here? And then the more that Pal just would like stay there and methodically chew and think, Hyacinth is like, okay, I'm gonna go try this right over here, but I'll be right back for you. Like, I'll be right back. We'll meet up. And then it would turn into like, I'll meet up with you over here. Like, if it's dark and you haven't seen me yet, we'll meet up back at, and then they're off.
Yeah.
And that's when the unspooling happens.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah. So, I think Pal very easily loses track of them. And something I wanted to add was I think he whatever they're giving like the sample on, whether it's like a plate or in like a little cup or a little bowl, every time he asks if he can keep it. And so I think this is how he kind of collects like supplies and dishware, just like all these different like shapes and sizes.
All these little plates and little bowls and yeah. Mm-hmm.
Our utensils are exclusively toothpicks.
Yeah.
When you go to this crew for dinner, like you're going to eat like you have to add like a 0 in the number of servings you want. The question is the question isn't do you want 1 or 2 servings, it's do you want 10 or 20? Because
How
the
many
plates
rounds
are so
are we
small.
doing?
Yeah, it's like a bite or two per plate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think once like dark kind of hits and Pal kind of realizes like, oh shit, I haven't seen them in a while. I hope they're okay. They kind of took off real fast. I think I saw them running over there.
This is perfect. Yeah, if you roll here, then we know how much you worry or not.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, how come
just
I
a
only
little
have 2
bit.
dice?
I don't know. Did it? The way it calculates that, it takes your lowest attribute.
Oh, gotcha.
Attribute is the thing that is analysis, kinesis, or semiosis.
Gotcha, yeah, and I only have 1 in
Yeah.
analysis.
So this is like, if you're more balanced, you get more dice for.
Gotcha. Okay, so I'm just a little worried.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of concern there. We can help you pick out what kind of trouble you got into a little bit later. Or also, we've been playing for a while. Do you all want to take a break here? Or do we want to see what Noon is getting up to in the meantime first?
I could take a little bit of a break. I think Beetle knocked something over back there, so I could probably go clean it up.
Okay. Yeah, we can take a little break, then come back with Noon.
All right, then see you around like 5 to 10. Well, let's give Dingo a little bit of time.
We'll say 10 minutes.
Yeah.
In case the broom or vacuum needs to come out.
Yeah, who knows?
God, I hope not.
Okay, we'll be right back then. come back. Yeah. So Hyacinth is attracting trouble, and which means another entanglement. They get to choose, or they get to roll, and Taylor chose to roll. So guess we'll get to see.
And we said it's going to be 2 dice.
Yeah. So you pick one of those roll fortune buttons, I guess. Or did you find a entanglement button? I don't remember of this one.
I don't know where that would be.
It would be on the crew sheet, but I don't see it.
I can just do the
Roll fortune one.
Oh, I was just gonna do like RD6 or 2d6. Where is fortune?
On your sheet on the right hand side, if you scroll down below your
Scroll
friends.
down. Below, roll fortune. Number of dice. Twosies. Notes.
You did roll a 6, so now you get to roll 1 die on the next table. So by now we're on the infamy 2 table. You get to roll
I'm
2
sorry,
dice,
team.
and you take the lower one.
What did you do?
So you can just enter 0, basically. It does the right thing for you.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it should.
Okay, 0.
So that's a 3. Oh, more trouble. Oh no, community conflict.
Okay, is that what I got? I was kind of hoping for something weird. Space-time scream. Okay, community conflict. A fight breaks out in the community. Head it off, shut it down, or spend a trade. Oh, okay. So I am... so Pal and Hyacinth are going to this farmer's market block party, and Pal ends up getting engrossed in every flavor experience he can get his mouth on. Hyacinth just wants the weirder and weirder stuff, and ends up getting involved in some sort of like chili cook-off throwdown, where things are getting real, and finds himself in the middle of this fight, maybe because they accidentally said something like, yeah, this is the best chili here, and somebody's like, but I won, and then they have to like, well, no, your chili is also good. It's like, well, which one's the best? So a community fight breaks out, and Hyacinth is going to try to deal with it themselves, but we did say we were going to go back to noon. So I want to see what's going on with the medic, because like I'm also like, that's a trope, caring for wounds. What's going to happen here?
Also, who's this person who you live in their backyard, right?
Wait, is the shepherd's Gorbo is the shepherd? Is that something that we did do, or is that something I just imagined?
No, that's a real person.
Okay.
That we imagined. Is that
I just wanted to know if it was
same
something
person?
that I imagined, or if it was something that was, shared with the community.
No, it was shared.
In the interest of, not making things like in keeping the community small and interconnected, I think that this is Gorbo's sibling of some sort.
Yes.
What if it's Gorbo's twin sister, who's older by like 5 minutes, and so she's the older sibling?
Yep.
Her name is Breda, Breda.
Mm-hmm.
Where do we write these down?
I guess we can write them down in contacts.
In contacts, the top expert box is specifically for our medic.
Oh,
So it how did you spell it, Robin?
Breda, Breda.
I did it.
Somebody already did a type.
I was too excited. I got right on it.
Awesome. And so on a player level, you go to Breda for to recover. Is this also what Noon is doing, or is this more a Noon stumbles into?
Noon is looking specifically for someone to help him because he's just like kind of limping.
Yeah.
And he's like, I know I'm stupid. Like, I know I don't know shit. And all I'm good for is like moving fast and like being in touch with my body. And I need to fix this so that I can be useful in some sort of way.
Yeah.
And I think he's been very annoying in asking around town, like, hi, I need medical help. Who do I go to?
And people are like, oh well, for ailment, well, and they direct you down the streets, right? So you take like, and you end up basically where you live, and what Breda's just sitting on her back porch, and maybe like polishing some boots or something like that. And does she like immediately like catch your limp, or is this like, yeah, maybe she's like, have you been around all day long on that bad leg of yours?
I believe it's actually both my legs I've hurt.
Oh no. Well, come here. What did you do?
I
hope
there
you
was a
didn't
cart.
stumble. And
I did not stumble. It was all on purpose. There was a cart, and then there was me, and the cart went over my legs very fast.
well, and like she puts down like the shoe polish and stuff, and well, let me help you. And she immediately goes to like slip an arm underneath yours, right? To
I like the idea that I'm like a foot and a half taller than she is.
yeah. So she's kind of struggling with like, okay, how do I help you? Like, you're not out of commission, right? It's like you just how badly are you hurt, by the way? Is this
You gave me a second level harm. Run over.
yeah. And she takes you inside, and I think it's pretty cramped in there, but also pretty cozy. And she has like a side room where she usually tends to people. And well, let's have a look, shall we?
Excuse, I do not know the proper how do you say decorum, the way you do it, the what is polite?
Well, polite is to I'm going to be your doctor, so you just undress, please.
Oh, how much?
Uh,
How
And-
much of the clothing do I take off?
only how much is necessary and you feel comfortable with.
Okay, I just whip off my pants.
And she's like, "Oh, well, that does it. Yeah." And she goes to like actually feel like touches you and touches your joints and like, does this hurt? Moves your thigh right and applies pressure to certain points to. Like,
Ow, 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 ow. Okay.
Okay.
That
Yes.
is enough.
Mhm.
Yes.
Well, we'll get you a poultice for that. You'll have to rest a bit. So no great activities for the next couple of days. Then you
Okay.
should be going up in no time. Like, I mean, a fit young man like you. And yeah, so recovery. That just works. You take it, a recover action, and all your harm slides down 1 level.
Okay.
So any level 1 harm vanishes, and you put like the having been run over on the first level. So it'll still impact you unless you take another recover action.
I'm not. He's not going to.
But the way we framed it, it's like it's probably going to impact you if you want to like run somewhere fast, not like with other stuff, right?
So this is your house and your clinic.
Well, clinic is a little bit. It's I only treat. We didn't used to have this many people. Like so many people arrived recently. We're not really equipped to handle if more folks run into trouble with stuff.
Well, then let us hope that no one runs into trouble.
Yeah. How are things? Are you all comfortable back there?
You mean under the ground?
Yeah, I'm like I didn't even know this was under my backyard until you came along, but so
Sorry about that.
no, I never knew what to do with that. Anyways, I'm not much of a garden person, but I've seen like Pal has put up a couple of things. He wants to grow stuff.
Yes, he is very proficient in the plant growing.
Well, that's good. I'm good with people and fixing up people, but any plants I have, they don't survive.
They
long.
immediately they go and they die. You
Yes.
touch them, you touch people, and they get better. And
Yeah.
then you touch plants and they die.
Right? Yes. You get me. Well, but I'm glad you're taken care of and it's okay down there. I'm can I like come over sometime because I'm like incredibly curious what's like underneath my backyard.
Oh, of course. I see no reason why not.
That would be lovely.
There are so many tunnels. And so there's lots of room for lots of people.
So many okay.
All around. Everywhere. There are some places you can come up. But then when you go down, it's like so many tunnels. I cannot count them. But that is more that is less to do with number of tunnels and more to do with Nun being who Nun is.
Has anybody ever told you that you do truly have like a lovely accent?
I've heard that. Yes, thank you. He's like blushing. No one's ever complimented him on his accent before. It's mostly been like, what are you saying?
I probably should get that poultice ready for you, right?
Yes, thank you.
So back to the chili cook-off fight, or is it? Here's the question: how are you trying to head it off or shut it down, or do you want to spend trade to repair the damages afterwards?
Do we even have trade to spend?
Yes, you've got exactly 4. That's stuff that Pal wanted to invest in potentially, and
all right. So,
but you can also
head it off.
Yeah. Okay.
As an option, I am Hyacinth picks up on things getting rowdy, potentially contentious.
And I think,
but
like this is like old grievances come bubbling up to the chili surface.
Yeah, it's about a lot more than what's going on here.
You have to clarify, it is noodles.
Is this? Do they eat? Oh, okay, so the noodles are the things that they get very personal about. Mm-hmm. What if their weird thing here is that they put noodles in chili? I think, does every Texan just die? Or this is like the beans versus no beans argument, but now with noodles.
I mean, this probably relates back to the cataclysm, right?
Yeah, it's a fantasy setting, so we can have noodles in our chili.
I was looking up weird noodles, and there's like...
You're muted. Robin, you're muted.
I was just telling you that I hate you and that we're not friends anymore because you suggested putting noodles in chili, which is a crime against humanity and like against food.
I had never even heard of that until like 8 months ago.
Wait, do people actually put noodles in chili?
I think so, like
or
in the Midwest.
Beans versus no beans things.
Oh, I couldn't care about beans or no beans, but people actually do put noodles like in chili, and I don't like. I think it's macaroni noodles. I don't understand it.
Chili. Well, the number one search result was noodles and chili meme. So, chili and noodles, the great debate. Hearty chili macaroni. Okay, no, I can see chili on top of macaroni and cheese because you're combining two distinct dishes.
But that's just chili mac. That's a different thing.
Yeah. There is a place literally right across the street, and I'm saying this to Robin.
Shut up. None of this is appropriate. None of this.
There's literally a place across the street from my work called Neener Wiener, and they specialize in unique hot dog situations, and one of the things that you can order is a hot dog, like a sausage in a bun, and on top of this they put macaroni and cheese, and on top of that they'll put chili.
Robin's world is melting down.
I hate this. I hate people.
These noodle-infused tacos.
I would eat that.
Oh god, it's good.
The wiener chili mac taco. That'd be so fucking good.
Oh, I haven't had it in a taco. Right next to the Neener Wiener that's actually what it's called. That's what they have on the sign that they have on their building that they paid for with money.
You're in a safe place.
Right next door is a taco place that's super good, and I like going there for street tacos. So I'm sure we could do a collaborative event there. But anyway, there's this big debate over which earthy grass-based noodle works best in these chilies. Maybe it's more of just like a chili sauce. Like it's a sauce made with chilies that they
this is
put
making
on
me feel
top
much
of
better.
pasta. So it's really just like a spicy spaghetti type of situation.
Yeah, my blood pressure is lowering.
Okay. Well, if you're eating it, it wouldn't.
So it's
Yeah,
just
so this
arrabbiata. That's what the spicy.
I don't.
It's fine.
Is that spicy spaghetti?
Yeah, well, that's,
I don't.
it's just
I don't
sauce,
know things,
but
Matthias.
yeah.
I just eat the food. Yeah, so there's like this little feud kind of breaking out, and
it's more about the family issues. Yeah.
That Hyacinth, like accidentally blundered themselves into. And I think I would like to take the headed off. And what they're going to try to do is direct this energy that's starting to get chaotic and rowdy into like party energy, and not like fight energy, but like I'm trying to think of what words they would use to do this. But probably going around to like the people who are involved, but maybe not as personally invested. So like the cousins of the family instead of like the heads of the family. And just kind of saying stuff like, oh, this, like, talk about food is getting really into, like, we should just like try to eat as much of it as we can. Like, let's get more out. Like, let's just keep trying. Because if they're talking about what's best, let's just, like everybody should bring out their food, and we'll just, like have a celebration about it, and kind of get as many other people on board with a celebration idea. So even though the heads are still kind of sizzled up about it, the energy around them is kind of starting to outnumber them, and so there's that high intensity kind of lightning in the air type of interaction. It's more of a positive direction, and so hopefully it will kind of peer pressure them into having a good time.
Okay. Well, you gotta say if that gets too real.
What's that?
We're talking about in chat how it's probably one family stole the other family's noodle recipe.
Okay, yeah.
That's a real feud in my family, except it's coney dogs and not grass noodles.
Okay,
that's funny.
I like that. Mechanically, you actually have to make a roll here with like proper position and effect.
Yeah,
it can go wrong.
I bet it can.
You can spend stress on this even, which is
that would make sense.
I can even give you a Lotus Gambit, and I already have one in mind. But first, I need to know what action you're actually using for this.
Okay, now I was talking about directing just the flow of the energy and guiding the crackling chaotic mood into a positive chaos instead of a negative chaos. So it'd be cool if I could do tune. If they are stepping in a little bit more specifically and kind of telling people to, you do this, you do that, then command would make sense.
But well, you get to decide. So that's a thing. You get to decide on one hand, and on the other, I'll just judge your position and effect by it or for it.
Okay, yeah, I think tune makes sense, so long as I'm not exactly sure what it means by exotic forces.
Well, the
So
question
just
is, what does this look like? How do we, if you're like, as the viewer of the show or something, how would we know that it's Toon?
Yeah.
That you're doing
So-
something supernatural of collecting these energies.
Yeah, so if there's an explicitly supernatural bit to it, Hyacinth is less invested in, I guess, the individuals and more about guiding the aura of the space. And so what they would be doing is probably digging in their bag for like maybe little pebbles, these specific pebbles that by like slipping them into the pockets of like 5 different people and saying something along the lines of like, let's like if they're going to talk about what food's best, let's get as much out as we can, like let's have a party out of this, saying things like that, and then slipping that pebble into each one of the pockets. They kind of make this lattice that helps them, so like 5 points around the party, they create this lattice that helps reinforce and channel that aura to be in the direction that they want it to be.
Nice. Yeah. I'm going to say it does sound risky.
Yeah. Just kind of nosing yourself in there with magic and then
Yeah.
age-old feud.
So it's risky. And standard effect is... Yeah, and it's standard. So yes, if you do this, it'll have the desired effect.
And then tell me about my Lotus.
Yeah, I offer you a Lotus Gambit, and it's going to be... I would open a clock. That will be about, if this clock fills, the town is going to be in like general trouble with its food supply. And I'm going to put 1 tick on it, and it's a 6-tick clock. Because if everybody's like now like getting out their stuff, right? They're like overspending, and it's going to be like this is going to happen, right? There's going to be this impromptu food party of like every kinds of dish, so it's going to be a lot of food wasted, and the entire town was just upheaved. So this might be a thing that will come in anyways, but
yeah.
But you get an extra die for it. It's not going to be. It's only 1 tick on that clock, just to be clear.
Yeah, and I know this. Hyacinth doesn't.
Yes, this is a player decision. I mean, you could reasonably have Hyacinth be like understand that, but
can Pal help?
No, because Hyacinth ran off, right? And Pal's like having a good time.
Dingo can help, though. I wouldn't mind input because this is a player decision that affects our setting.
I mean, if during this Pal shows
go
up,
for it.
Yeah, I say go for it. I think having another problem to solve would be really fun and interesting. So
okay, yeah, I'll do that. I was feeling like guilty because I still have to. I have the past experiences of being like punished and made to feel bad for character decisions and things, and that is a thing that I try to move on from. But yeah, let's do it. Bonus die 1.
Well, that's 6. Do tell us how, like, you just turn this situation from a potentially maybe even dangerous one to one that's I think that has everybody still talking about for days after that. Like, wow, that was like that was a real good party. Does anybody remember how we actually made the decision to have a party that day?
Yeah, so Hyacinth is like slipping through the crowd, putting these pebbles into pockets, and once the like sigil is formed and like they make the risk, they take that risk and they're like, okay, and they, do like a magic hand thing and magic that maybe only they see or those people who are sensitive to it kind of feel a shift in the pop in the aura of the space. It kind of changes the chatter and starts from the outside and kind of moves in. I imagine the center of this gathering are the two heads of the family who are maybe starting to raise their voice, and they have this like feigned civility. And as the aura changes and comes inward, and more people are bringing out dishes, and more people are bringing out dishes, and more people are talking about like all the different foods, and it starts shifting less from the family to family feud and more of the general like, well, all like everybody's got a stake in it, so it kind of draws that weight away. Hyacinth's final move is to slip up between the like they are now there at the two face-to-face heads of the families, who are like right in each other's business, and that's about to get real. Puts a hand on either one of their shoulders and is like, well, now with everybody bringing out all of their dishes and all this food out here and everybody proving they can eat as much as they can, the only thing left to do is for you two to eat each other's dishes. And there's like that quiet moment where like maybe some people here nearby were like, oh shit, they don't do that. But like in the quiet moment, just because of the shift in the energy, and they look around and they see that they're kind of outnumbered and that is what's going on, and they kind of maybe they want to save face, or maybe they just feel weird because their town lifted off the ground and landed again, or whatever the reasons, they agree to it. And then just like the crowd is uproarious and Hyacinth disappears into the crowd again to kind of weave around.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome.
Can I also fold that into, because the second action that I wanted to do was the reputation, or the outreach. Does that make sense to just kind of like weave that into the same thing?
Yeah, I just wanted to, yes, I think it makes a lot of sense because this is Hyacinth like getting to know everyone, right? Or also more Hyacinth getting to know them than the other way around.
Yeah.
But the question here is, I wanted to get clear on what your intention is. Do you actually want to reduce the heat on you, or would you rather like form a stronger bond with Cnidaria, for example? Or
yeah, I'd prefer to form a stronger bond.
Yeah. So then it sounds more like that this is a long-term project.
Okay.
The way those work is so this would mean a +1 on your faction status with them. And I think all that we've learned about them is they're pretty open to outsiders, so they'd be inclined. So I think I'm just gonna say this is going to be a 4-tick clock to achieve this.
Are you here adjusting the faction? because this is the first time I'm looking at this sheet and I don't understand it. There are a lot of letters.
Yes.
There are a lot more letters than I was expecting.
There are the two informations or three infos are kept per faction. One is what tier they are. You are tier 0, so that will come into effect if you're like going against a faction.
And that's Roman numeral 1?
Yes, exactly. Then they have a hold on that tier, which is either strong or weak. You also have a hold on your tier. And then it's just the status, which can go negative and positive.
Hmm.
And we already established that Cnidaria is into it.
I want to meet all of these people. Like, who are the Rust Devils or the Periwinkle Method?
So here's the thing.
I want to jam with those people.
Yes, I'm exactly. If you look at those, you can see who they are. We already met someone from the Periwinkle Method. The guy who brought the video feed, the recording. One Hyacinth was so struck by. He is of Periwinkle Method. And we heard about the Cardinal Frontier Division below under Red Empire. So, yeah. That's a whole other thing we still can get into.
Sure is. But we're making progress in the meantime.
Exactly. So it's going to be what I said, a 4-tier clock. I'm just going to put it on our sheet here. You could also have it on your sheet if you wanted to. But it's... I'm going to call it increased faction status with Cnidaria. And you get to decide which action you roll for that. It could just be a tune again. This time it won't have positional effect. You will just choose a fortune roll when you click on it. You're muted, I believe.
Yeah, so do I roll tune or do I roll fortune?
Oh, you decide on an action. And it's your decision. It's up to you. The way you framed it, this is like you getting into tune with this town. So I think tune makes sense.
Oh, okay. And then, yeah. So I'll do tune. And then for position, I can do fortune roll.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Submit. Impact standard.
Yep.
Submit. And no bonus die. Because I'm not going to do a gambit on this one.
Well, wait a second.
Okay.
Pal's also getting into this, right? I mean, you're also getting to know these people. So that could be a bonus die if Pal's helping.
Could you argue that I'm also getting to know people because I'm making the connections with the medic?
In a sense, but the medic counts as part of your crew. So. I think. So here's the thing. I think Breda's a little bit of an outsider. Like, she's that a little bit of an introvert, a little bit like her brother. Except her brother's like, I'm just gonna go outside with my sheep. And she's like, I'm just gonna hole up inside here and be with my herbs and stuff.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think it would make sense that Pal is getting to know a lot more of the town.
Okay, yeah.
Especially since I like to think that the grass that they use tells, or the plant that they use in their noodles tells a lot about them.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Pal's considering what grass will I use?
So what does this mean? 1, 2, 3 on these rolls means 1 tick. 4 and 5 means 2 ticks, and a 6 would mean 3 ticks, and a crit would mean 5 ticks. So, do you want to do it yourself? You should be able to right-click the increase faction status with Cnidaria Clock. Yes. And then if you go to multi-sided, choose side.
I am not seeing multi-sided. So I am right-clicking on one.
Well, you should be able to select the clock, or like the little flower.
Oh, is this in the faction sheet, or is this on the Roll20 base?
On the Roll20 tabletop thing, basically.
Okay. Clock. Okay. Multi-sided. Choose side?
Yes.
Random side. Choose side.
Choose side.
And how many ticks? Oh,
2.
that's... It gives me 0 or 3.
If you move the slider 2 ticks to the right, it should be then it fills the flower 1/4 or 2/4. Right?
That's what happens when I did it 2 slider clicks.
No, that's correct.
3 slider clicks would be 2 more petals, and then the final slider click. Okay.
Right?
Okay, I understand.
Now it has it's a 4-tick clock, basically.
Yep.
It's at 6 o'clock now.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Cool. What do the other two get up to? Noon, do you have an idea?
I want someone to teach me how to read.
Yeah.
And
I think we can pick up. We can pick up with. I'm still hanging out with Breda.
Well,
no, I'm going to ask her.
Okay, you're going to.
She doesn't have to teach me. I'm just like, I know her now, so it's better than asking a random stranger, right?
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
So is this? Yeah. So I think it's like
I've got my pants off. She's put the poultice on my legs.
Yeah, we've finished. Well, no, that's set. Well, tomorrow morning you will need to come back, and then we'll need to freshen this up. In the meantime, you should rest. Do you have anyone who can take care of you?
Yes, I have a person, and they know magic. And I also have another person, and he knows plants. So together, I think they'll be able to take good care of me.
Well, that's good, because a good meal will always help a lot. Right.
I just have a little bit of a question.
Yeah, sure.
Which is, so I do not know how to read books. and I would like to, so that I can be helpful in the reading of books. Do you know anyone who would be willing to take on a servant?
A servant?
No, a student. A student.
Oh, well, we do have a school. Maybe you could ask one of the teachers there, I guess. You cannot read? Oh, you poor boy. Well, why can't you read?
Okay, so the story is very long. So I will tell you the short version.
Okay.
Which is I
do have time.
I was grown up.
Rest?
I was grown. No,
the long version.
Okay. Well, I was grown up with these religious people, but you have to have parents in it passes from parent to child, and they fed me and took care of me, but the thing is we travel because the Red Empire does not like them, and the books they have and are all their religion, but they would not let me read them or teach me how to read them because it is a private thing to them.
Okay.
And I am outsider, and so you see, they did not teach me how to read when I was, and yes, so I do not know how to read the books, and I would like to. I think they're very pretty on the outside. They look nice, and they also smell nice with the paper.
Yeah, and a right book can take you different places.
Well, I would like to stay here for the time being.
Well, I don't know if there are that many books about Cnidaria, though.
Okay, so where is this school? I thought schools were for children, and I'm not a child.
No, but I don't. Someone. Well, I mean, we could ask around. You want to learn to read?
I would like to learn.
Yes. Okay. Well, if you rest up tonight, I guess I can ask around tomorrow, and we'll see, and maybe one of those teachers can give you a private lesson here or there or something like that. I guess. Yeah.
Well, yes, I would prefer that as to learning with little children, but I would.
Oh yeah,
I would rather learn than not learn.
Mm-hmm. So, learning to read.
I figured it would be training, and then I could put an XP into semiosis.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Or analysis.
Probably analysis, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If that's reading is or that sounds good. The way this works is you can spend a downtime to get extra XP, right, for your in your different actions.
Mm-hmm.
This is where this crew has semiosis training. So whenever you pick the training downtime and pick symbiosis, you get 2 XP for 1 downtime. So that might be a thing to keep in mind in the future. But I do agree that reading, I mean, there's an action that's called read.
Yeah, which is under analysis.
Yeah. So yeah.
I just add the XP.
Yep.
Correct? Sweet. So I had 3 XP that were in my playbook advancement that I hadn't spent yet. So I put those into analysis along with the XP from this.
Okay. So it's already in there, so you're still like two are open?
Yep.
Okay, cool. And then Pal still has a downtime, right? What do you want to get up to?
I think I'd like to start sort of putting together this very basic sort of cook fire kitchen. I think Pal is really inspired and like driven after having tasted all these different grass noodles. I think he's been so entranced with it that like at some point he did look up and see that there was a party sort of going on. And that there had been a big row and now everybody's sort of celebrating. I think that brings a big smile on his face. But I think after walking home with Hyacinth that night, the next day he's just up early in the morning, finding space underground that's not too close to anything important in case something spills or God forbid explodes, but close enough to the engine where he could possibly utilize that heat.
Nice.
Just finding the perfect spot. I think we see I don't know that he I don't know that he really talks to or interacts with one particular person while he's sort of working on this. I think it's sort of a montage of different people that he talks to. He gets up early. He starts I think he takes a stick and starts mapping out where things are gonna go maybe one day in the future. And sort of clearing it away, maybe tamping down, talking to Gorbo and getting some hay and tamping down hay for the floor so they're not just walking on dirt, and collecting stones and talking to some people, where's the best place to chop up some firewood, what and do you have any seeds or anything that you're growing, getting some food from them, and dishes and things like that. And I like to think that whatever he got, like a really big kettle, almost like a witch's cauldron.
Yes.
That he got from one of the townsfolk, and some rope from another. So he's just sort of making his way through the town, probably in a very similar circle that he did during the farmer's market. And I think by the early afternoon, he's in the he's back down in the base, and we said that it was sort of like a root system that this was operating on, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think he finds some thicker, sturdier strong enough roots that he can loop the rope over. And after making like this circle of like stones, he kind of puts the kettle. He ties up the kettle sort of to the ceiling, so it's suspended over what will be sort of the cook fire. And then I think he finds like a big cast iron plate that you can sort of suspend, that he sort of suspends as well. And not at the same time. I think he stores one kind of up against the wall because he doesn't really have a place to put it. And I think he gets like a rickety old broken, like, I guess sort of like a china cabinet that he sort of puts, like, you know, there's some seed packets on one shelf. There's like 2 jars of jam on another shelf. There's like 3 spoons on another shelf. It's not perfectly organized, but it's all in the cabinet. And I think he spends some of the day also like sanding it and repainting it. He does a lot. He tries to do a lot. It's a start.
2 questions. No, one question is, do you have anyone to help you? So I still to remind you, with your on your own sheet with your scrappy, they're called scrappy friends of yours, right?
Mm-hmm.
You still get to mark one with like the up triangle to be like, oh yeah, that's like a good friend or something like that, and one with a down arrow, someone like you also can always get in touch with, but someone you have friction with, right?
Right.
So they're like someone potential if you want someone to help you with, because the way this works, if you look at the crew sheet, you'll get to pick either the left or the right production tile. We'll just rename it into, I don't know how you want, like the crew's kitchen and pantry or something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
And it's going to cost 2 of your supply.
Okay. So take those away. I think I'm gonna choose this one over here because it's got.
It's leading off into other things you like.
Yeah, because I thought the exotic weave looks interesting, and wormhole gate, that looks real cool.
Yep. And it's 2 supplies.
Oh.
And it's
It won't unclick.
Oh, click one to the left of that.
Oh, okay.
And instead, you now click to under investment.
Ooh. Okay.
And I've created this clock down here. That's a 4-tick clock. That if that fills up, then it's built, and basically you've got it.
Yeah.
Building stuff you're supposed to do with shape.
How do I do that?
So that's one of your actions under analysis. That's shape.
Oh dear, I don't have anything in that.
It's not going to be something that will involve risk. But that's like one question why I was asking, oh, is someone helping you? Is like someone in town, like that you've met at this impromptu chili festival. Chili noodle festival. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I want to say
I mean, because it's like here, like Cass, a reserved quartermaster. I'm just looking at your context, like
Yeah.
if we, and because then I would also say, oh yeah, it was obviously Cass was one of those two families.
Well, that's what I was.
Right?
That's what I was kind of thinking was like a one of the kids in this family.
Okay.
And by kids, I just mean like young adult.
Yep.
Doesn't have the same like bitterness, but is still affected by the conflict. So yeah, we'll say Cass helps me out
Yeah.
with
like
that.
Yeah. And I mean, this is also interesting, like Pal learning to like build a kitchen as a thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you click on shape in your sheet,
Okay.
Then position for this would be it's a fortune roll, so it's not a thing. There's no risk here.
Okay.
Effect is just standard. You get 1 bonus die.
Is a 4
Nice.
okay?
Yeah, 4 is 2 ticks. So you're halfway to halfway there. Do you want to tick those yourself? You should be able to.
Yes, I do.
Wait a second. No, you should be able to.
I'm gonna zoom in. There we go. How do I do it?
You click on the flower and then right click and then multi-sided, choose side. Yes.
That's so nice.
Awesome. You can also go up where you marked the production field.
Mm-hmm.
And actually click on it and rename it.
Oh, perfect.
So. And mechanically, when it's built, what it will do is, do you see up top where under rep where it says prod on the right hand side? You will get to mark one of those ones when it's finished building. So basically you're to level up your crew tier, that track is shortened with more production.
Okay.
All right. So that was like everybody's downtimes. Now in the future you might be more pressed, needing to do stuff. So you could spend one of those trades that you've got in supply to do another downtime action. And if something comes to you like between sessions, we still need to do that. Like we can still tend to that. But I probably would suggest that for tonight, this is it. Because there's a couple of things to think about. The next thing is like, okay, so what is this crew going to get up to next? And unless someone has like an energizing idea right now and wants to like talk with the other two in the half-finished kitchen, I would just suggest we close the session for tonight and go into end of session stuff. Does that sound cool for everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
So we do have the crew sheet open right now, so maybe like let's start with the crew XP.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of each session, for each item below, mark 1 XP. 2 XP if that item occurred multiple times. You solved mysteries, discover something new, or uncover something old.
I think we discovered something new and uncovered something old. Because we uncovered an old feud and we discovered a new, like, food.
I agree. Does everyone concur with that?
Oh yeah, yeah. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Do you want to mark 2 immediately there? Did you contend with challenges above your current station?
Being literate is currently
But that's more of a noon thing. That's not a crew thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did kind of individualize. We kind of split up, so I don't know if those count in the same way.
Also, this often plays into, did you contend with a faction that's of a higher status and have to wrestle that they have a higher tier, so you get less effect, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Did you bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one? What's the crew reputation again? It's down to Earth.
Yeah. Is that like a mechanical thing? Like having bolstered, is that like...
No, did you do it in the fiction?
Yeah, I think we kind of went from strangers who moved the city to like people who go to, the market and can interact with people and,
Party.
Party and get to know people. And Noon had even though Braid is, I guess, kind of a little bit of an outsider, it's still like a connection thing.
Yeah, I agree. So, 1 for that. Did you mark it already?
I have not marked anything.
I didn't mark it. Okay. I'll go ahead and do that.
Mm-hmm. And then express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew.
Our goals are to have a kitchen, to sleep in a place that is not just outside,
and become sexy.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
having a place to sleep is very sexy. Yeah, I don't know that we know enough about our goals yet.
Yeah, besides, like, we are definitely tier 1 of... I feel weird referencing Maslow's hierarchy because apparently he was a very bad dude. But, like, we're still very much on survival, and we're not yet to the, like, self-actualization of what do we really want out of being here. So... yeah, I feel like we don't have our drives or inner conflict or essential nature yet.
Yeah. So what is this 0 for that point then?
I guess it comes down to whether or not our, like, the immediate goals of gather food, gather shelter, count as crew goals, or if that's just kind of basic needs for being alive.
I didn't really see it as like a... Go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say I don't know that I saw it as a survival thing, although I think it, it is. I saw it more as like like you mentioned in chat earlier, sort of homemaking in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Nesting.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sort of nesting in town.
I could also see it as less of a, like, as the interpretation of, like, is this a unique thing to our crew? Is this like an extension of our crew's goals? Or is this just like a thing that we did?
Yeah, I don't know that it's really a conscious goal as more as just something that's...
Well, I think I would say that our goal so far seems to be that we want to become a part of this community. Like, we came to this as outsiders and we want to belong here.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
We want to make this place our home, not just, a place that we're living. right?
So here's an important point about this, why I love this part of the game, because you get to like reaffirm or underline, like, we did only see this maybe small part of it, but it's actually super meaningful. And that's what I'm hearing here.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're saying like, this is meaningful, we need to get XP for this, then it says to me, oh, okay, yeah, this crew actually wants to really be tight with this village, and you want to care about these people here.
Yeah, I don't know if we realize that we want that yet. Because like,
so that's
we're all kind of ignorant and out of our element, and we don't quite realize that what we're doing is trying to find a new home.
Yeah. But this is expressing an essential nature of the crew.
Yeah.
I think Matthias just wants to give us experience.
No, I'm just.
I think Matthias just wants
to.
He just wants to reinforce us to want to give ourselves experience.
Yes.
No, but I do see what you're saying though. It's rather we didn't set the goal and then used the scenes to express that goal. We set the scenes and then we use the scenes to inform what our goal is. Like Robin said, it seemed like we're leaning towards making ourselves a part of this community.
Yes. You played to find out, we found out we want to care about this. And now you're being on a meta level, you're going to be, yes, let's commit to that. And that's why we give us, like, you give yourself XP, because you're telling me we care about this. Like, this wasn't, like, this might have been an accident that came up in play, but we want to...
We do care now.
Yes, and this is an important thing in this story. Because it could also be like, yeah, this was a thing of this session, but we don't really care about it. So I don't want to give us XP for it. Right. It's part of the conversation. Like, we find out something in play, and then we're like, oh, yeah, no, we actually, like, that's where we want to go to. So is this 1 or 2, though? That's the question here.
I would say 2, because I think we each hit a point of it, right?
And I would also say that the point that you guys hit was like pretty significant in, establishing yourselves within the community. Like, not only did you take part in a community event, like, you spurred that event into something that brought more people together, which I think is significant.
Yeah.
Cool. Dingo, did you mark those yet?
I did not, but I will.
Okay.
It's full.
Wait, does that fill our bar?
Yes.
Dope. What does that mean?
That'll mean like
get the kush now.
For example, yes.
Oh shit, we get the good kush.
Yeah, and you'll get some other stuff.
This can.
Yeah. Like
we can also explore that part next session.
Yeah, because you also get like something. Everyone who's part of the crew will get some trade off of this, and we probably should talk about what that looks like actually in the fiction. And like how you want to spend those upgrades. That is a thing to talk about as well. Okay. But let's look at the characters. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't roll a desperate action. You address a challenge with endurance or force. I don't think I did that this time. To me, Powell wasn't faced with a whole lot of challenge. It was more, I think, just exploratory for him. You expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. I do think I did that. I think a lot of that festival and the sort of kitchen, the homemaking expresses both his heritage, or I guess rather his background and his, I guess, beliefs.
Yeah, I see that. So that's 2.
If I could interject a little bit on behalf of the first one, I know it wasn't the same sort of endurance that we saw when he has to physically strain up against like forces, but that like meticulous and deliberate trying each and every single dish to make sure he fully experienced every nuance. Like it's that different sort of thing where, I mean, to contrast it with Hyacinth, who just kind of dicked off partway through because they wanted to do so much more. Pal was steady, and like that was what he was doing. He was there to experience this thing because it was important to him. So like that level of endurance seems a lot more like it's a very steadfast way to go about things, which I think is representative of that same energy.
Yeah, I guess I didn't really think about it that way, but yeah, I could totally see that. I think you're right. Yeah, you don't have to force my hand. I'll give myself an example.
So you
struggled with issues from your relief or quirks during the session. I don't think I struggled with it.
You had a good time with them.
Yeah, I had a great time.
And you're making. Do you want to make the decision of putting them all in the playbook advancement? Is that correct? Because you could also put them in one of the attributes.
Yeah.
But depends if you want your next playbook advancement more, or if you want more dots.
No, I think I want more dots. So I'm gonna take these away because I have 3. So I think I'm gonna put them all in analysis
to get that point and shape sometime.
Yes. And I think it just kind of reflects what Pal did this session.
I agree. Sounds good. Nice. Who's next?
I got my sheet open.
Yeah.
Okay, so I did not do any desperate actions. Then at the addressed a challenge with charm work, wisdom, or care. I think. Sorry, I have a cat yowling at my door. I think that at least I could see the charm work because I kind of fell back on the how do I affect this? Do I talk to humans like people? No, I use a magic spell to like create a 5-pointed magic sigil, but in their pockets. I can't say I exercised care. I mean, I cared, but it was not a wise and delicate operation.
It's one for charm work.
Yeah. Beliefs, drives, heritage, and background. I could say beliefs because or at least drives. Yeah, I would say drives because there was that very I feel like Hyacinth was very forward moving through this. They kind of set out wanting to unwind, and each scene kind of led immediately through this energy of trying to get what they want and kind of make the best of all the situations.
Yeah.
Though we didn't really get to see anything from their past or like heritage or background. So probably 1 for drives. and then struggled with issues from the relief. So
You did.
unspooled, but like I didn't really struggle with that. Like I ended up working out pretty well. Does that?
Yeah, but you had to struggle. You had to make an action roll, and so you struggled and overcame it.
Okay. Yeah. So that's a total of 3.
Mhm.
It looks like I filled up my playbook advancement last time, and I think I left it full because I didn't pick something
Yeah.
to do. So I'm gonna drop the 3 into Kinesis. And I was thinking about that because like I'm looking at Shadow. And that was kind of what Hyacinth was doing a little bit, being a kind of shadow hand in affecting things instead of being very front, like only stepping forward when absolutely necessary, but for the most part, just kind of playing around. So I'm gunning for that shadow point, but so that's why I'm putting it in Kinesis.
Agree. Nice. And then we've got
Someone has a lot of strong opinions, and that someone is your cat.
Yeah.
So that means it's my turn, suppose.
I'm gonna go let him in. I'll be right back.
Let's look. I did not roll a desperate action. I did not address a challenge with tracking, navigation, or well, I guess you could say tracking if I went and asked people.
You tracked down a medic who was already living in your
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but you tracked
he
her
didn't
down.
know that.
Yes.
I did track her down. I do believe that I expressed my beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. Because I talked about the fact that I wasn't allowed to learn how to read because I wasn't like part of the ethno-religious group that I grew up with.
Yeah. And I mean, and you're like yes. And also we got to see your cultural sensitivity.
Oh, when I didn't know how to take my like how much to undress.
You asked first, so that was very lovely and a very considerate thing to see. Like, well, we saw Noon being very considerate and sensitive to that.
Yeah. So I've marked 3 XP because I think that I expressed my beliefs, drives, heritage, or background more than once.
Yeah.
But I don't believe I struggled with issues for my relief or quirks during the session.
Are you going to leave those 3 in the playbook, or are you putting them? I just see 3 left in Kinesis, so I'm like...
Yeah, that's also what I'm looking at. I do think I'm going to put them into Kinesis, and I'd like to take another dot in Finesse.
Sure.
If that's allowed, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's from your physical therapy.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. That was awesome. We'll have to see next time what the actual next mission is going to be. And I'm excited to find that out. But I really loved tonight. I loved seeing you all get up to some like your own stuff. So let's go around and do outros. Do we just let's go like backwards. So let's start with Robin.
Well, we ended with Dingo, but that's fine.
Well, I mean,
it's fine. I'll go first.
In the other direction, we just did XP in. That was
I thought you meant like that we did intros.
Yeah, I don't remember that. That's like already 3 hours ago.
All right. So I've been Robin. You can find me on Twitter at @r_Omulus. I am currently playing in a Masks game that occurs on Playbooks and Pals on Twitch every other Wednesday. So this coming Wednesday, there should be a game because there wasn't this week. And then every other Thursday, you can check out the podcast that I'm in with Matthias, which is an actual play Last Fleet podcast, which is a science fiction cool powered by the apocalypse game. And that comes out every other Thursday. And you can subscribe to that on iTunes or Spotify or any podcast app. And or you could also just find the links on off_the_table on Twitter.
That's awesome. And Taylor.
I am Taylor. I am on Twitter at Taylor_CS, where I talk about all sorts of things, including the games that I make. Right now, Spell the RPG is in one of the 3 COVID-19 charity bundles on DriveThruRPG. And it's really exciting for me because I get sales so infrequently that I still get email notifications each time it happens. I'm like, oh yeah, somebody bought my book. I have been flooded because I'm now getting an email notification each time one of these bundles has got, and it's amazing to see. I'm super happy. There's a lot of amazing games. I counted the bundle that like I'm in, and there's like 80 plus games in there for $20. And so there's 3 bundles, each $20, each have that much. We all donated our games, so there's no profit on our end. It's all going to charity relief, like Doctors Without Borders. And I don't remember them because it is after midnight and I am turning into a pumpkin, but they are, I think one is like the World Food Organization and the other one's about feeding kids. And those are all really important things, especially right now, but also always. The end.
Yeah, definitely. And Dingo.
I'm Dingo. You can find me on Twitter at Where's My Dingus. Right now, I am in 2 other games. Every Thursday, I am on Indoor Adventures playing Ghosts of Saltmarsh, which is a D&D campaign. And then every other Friday, so the opposite Fridays from us, I am on Off the Table playing Tales from Thersha, which is a homebrew D&D campaign. And that's about it.
Yeah, awesome. And hi, I'm Matthias. You can find me at over there at MTHSBLGR on Twitter. And thank you so much for watching. Robin already named the Off the Table podcast that I'm on. This is the shirt. Yeah, and this was super interesting because I played from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. and that's a weird time to play games. But with these awesome folks, I can't imagine having like better company for it. So thank you all very much, and you all have a lovely weekend. Bye.